Good morning out there, YouTube land, and I'm coming to you from the Mañana no Mas workspace. And again, I'm kind of sitting in the dark. This eye thing. Oh my goodness. There we go. Turn that off. And you know, uh, my goodness. I've broken an ankle. I've broken my wrist. Uh, Collarbone was the most recent bone. It's not even healed right. Like I went to the doctor for the eye, and I was telling the nurse, I said, yeah, it's so weird because my collarbone broke and it never really hurt. So I don't even think it came together yet. I said, you can feel the bone here, and I was moving my arm, and she puts her hand up on me, and she goes, oh yeah, you can still feel that. She goes, you can still feel the edge of the bone, and I said, yeah, it's been a few months. I don't know if it's going to heal or not, and because my original doctor said, if the bones don't connect, that might not be unusual in my case. The ends of the bones might stick in some fibrous tissue there, right? So it sounds weird, but that's what collarbones do. And I just endure it, right? Like that pain part of it never really set with me. But man, this eye thing, oh my goodness. Any kind of light, any kind of alteration in like head movement, yeah, it's just a lot. So this will be a short one today. You know, as I reminded you guys yesterday, I've got the webinar I'm going to do on Friday. So I'm a little nervous, right? Here it is Wednesday, and I can't really turn on the lights and look at the camera yet. So I'm hoping by Friday things are better for that. But I'm going to do the webinar on Friday, regardless of how I feel. I mean, I don't care how much ibuprofen I want to do that, especially since, and let's be real, um, the audience that I have for Mañana no Mas in no way reflects the amount of content and work that's been put into Mañana no Mas, and I've got the patience to grow the audience. I'm not looking to, buy an audience, but I did buy Facebook ads to on Friday. And so, the last thing I want to do is cancel the dang thing. Especially if I've got new eyes coming to the Mañana no Mas thing. I want to be consistent. I want to be there. So, and I know that, anything worth doing takes hard work. So, uh, the webinar will be on 10:30 Friday morning. It'll be in the Mañana no Mas Academy. I've got its own page in there for the webinar. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked about it because a lot of people have been asking about making online learning sites and being able to put Zoom inside the website like I do, being able to manage students or users or send out email notifications and do the things with a WordPress based site that I do. And so I'm going to run through this in the webinar and go over this with folks, answer some questions. And then, like I indicated before, I mean, if people ask questions that I don't have the answers to, well, in that case, in the chat area, I'll have them, give me some contact information and then follow up with them afterwards so I can answer those questions and then perhaps cover some of those answers in these daily, weekday meetings that I do with you guys. Um, if you're watching these, first off, thanks, right? Thank you for giving me your time and your attention. My goal is to bring value to you, but of course, there's also that reciprocal thing, right? Where you're also bringing value to me, right? You're in a market where attention is the new transaction. You're giving me your attention, so I appreciate that. I do ask, however, that if you enjoy what happens here on the Mañana no Mas channel, I ask that you would share it or like it with folks. Looking at content this week, I'm just going to be bold and tell you there's not a lot of new content coming because looking at the computer is too painful to make the content. But I've got a lot of content that's already formatted, that's already ready to go. And so we've got 14 courses so far in the learning management system. So in the Mañana no Mas Academy. And we've got another website that we put up called the Pod Show Exchange. And I've got one course so far in there that I made, right? So I've got a course there in the Pod Show Exchange. And so now I'm looking at like, okay, I've got some other content. Do I want to develop Pod Show Exchange or do I want to continue to develop Mañana no Mas, right? Because, I'm one dude. So which one do I want to develop? Now, Pod Show Exchange has been open for a week and I made the registration free. I said, hey, for early adopters, I'm going to honor you by, I'm going to honor you honoring me by giving you free access to the site. And remember, Pod Show Exchange is all about people that have podcasts. Some of the hardest things to do is find guests. And if you're a guest, one of the hardest things to do is find podcasts that you can guest on that are relevant to your message. And so I thought if I would build a kind of a directory kind of website, but an interactive directory, right? Where it's like groups and profiles and people can connect in there and make a connection through the group thing, like, hi, I have a podcast that's about leadership, and then someone goes, oh, what, I just wrote a book on leadership. Okay, great. They connect, they message each other through the profile system, they set up their dates, and they do their podcast. That's my goal, right? My goal is, how can I add value to this group of people, this ever growing group of people that are gonna struggle to find guests and keep fresh content in their podcasts. And so I thought this would be a really good idea to put this together. So I built the site. I did not seed the site with a bunch of fake accounts or anything like that. And so what I've done instead is I've said, hey, for a limited time, I'm going to give early adopters free access to this tool and let them build the community, right? Let's build the community organically with real people. I thought that would be fun to do. But of course, no one's in there yet. So I've got to do my best to promote that. So the podshowexchange.com is that website. We've got another academy that's been built, and this one's kind of fun. Heidi'sCritterSitter.com. Heidi'sCritterSitter.com. My wife, watches pets and stuff. And so we thought, well, hey, let's just make a website to take better care of the clients she already has. And I found a course that was available that talks about taking care of pets. And so I put that in there. And so that's another web academy that we have. So right now we've got 3 web academies, that we're pumping along and taking care of. And then of course there's the web academies I've made, at Suzuki and Ducati and all of those. But for the ones that I'm currently maintaining, I've got some content and I'm sitting here, really just kind of banging my head against the wall, trying to think of, okay, where am I going to put my effort at next? Where's my best opportunity for growth or to add value to an audience that I'm looking for? And for that reason, the reason I'm telling you all this is document the experience, right? I'm not some super successful, ultra wealthy dude that's hanging around entertaining myself. To be honest, there's some struggles along the way, and I wanted to get your input, moving forward and make sure that I'm meeting your needs and your ideas. So if you would give me a shout, hit me up either in the comments here on the YouTube live, or you can jump in on the Mañana No Mas Facebook page on the replay. But give me your thoughts, right? If you've taken a moment and you've gone through and looked at the Mañana No Mas website, and you've looked at the academy inside the Mañana No Mas website, or you've been to Pod Show Exchange, or you've been to Heidi'sCritterSitter.com to look about having your German Shepherd looked after. If you see stuff and you go, hey, this would be a good idea, or that would be a good idea, or hey, I wonder why he didn't do this. Man, I'd love if you'd bring that kind of stuff to my attention, because there's nothing that can't be done on the internet, right? So what we need to do is figure out what's needed, what adds value to people, right? There's some things that I've looked at and said, nah, I'm just not going to do that because it's not applicable in this situation, like SMS messaging or something, right? But in some cases, things would be, right? Maybe SMS messaging is something I'd like to put in the Pod Show Exchange. So in any case, I'm throwing it all out there. Yesterday, I said I was going to cancel, or I said I was looking at canceling doing the first level of the 5 levels of leadership with John Maxwell, and I did. There was no way that I was healthy enough yesterday to turn on all the lights and try and look at a camera and tell you guys about John Maxwell and how wonderful I think he is. So I put that off till next Tuesday. So Tuesday at 3, we'll get back into the first level of the 5 levels of leadership with John Maxwell. That's at 3:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The webinar for Friday is at 10:30 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. And there is no Zoom night out this week. Zoom night out, again, I can't, I just don't have it in me to spend extra time trying to look at the camera. As you see, I got my eyes closed now. And so, yeah, this week's kind of a wash, but I do want to be consistent and faithful and show up for you guys. And that's why I'm here. So have yourself a great winning day. if you're a person of faith, pray for what's going on in our country right now. Um, my silence is not, it's not like I'm ignoring the situations. I just, again, I said yesterday and I'll say it again today, you got to be real careful how you say things, what you say, and how people can twist around what you verbalize. Right. But yeah, I've got a lot of concerns about what's going on in our country right now. And, I've got a lot of prayer that's out for, a lot of different people groups. So, hopefully you can do the same. And, I will talk to you guys tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning again, Pacific Standard Time. All right. And if it's lunchtime for you on the East Coast, thanks for sharing your burger with me. I'll talk to you later. And this eye thing, they say it's a couple more days yet. So hopefully in a couple more days, I'll be able to look at the camera at least and not cringe. Right. And if nothing else, maybe you can find some time and join the webinar on Friday and interact with me through the Zoom channel. That'd be awesome. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.